So I teach a class, web design, and a lot of the kids don't know how to use Photoshop or anything like that, but they know how to use Google Drawing. So we can create a banner and put it on your website. Simple as that. You can use Venn diagrams, you can do charts, Wordles, I mean literally anything you think of, you can do. So like if you have an idea, Google it. Yeah, Google it. See what you come up with. Like a lot of times, okay, I want to make a newsletter. What do I want to make it look like? I'll Google newsletter, find some images, and then recreate it myself. So here's an example of one that I did. I coach freshman girls basketball. So I sent out a newsletter. I wanted to share it. And instead of using like Adobe or Word, I did it in Drawing or your Canvas. So you can specify what you want it to be. So when you do that, you go to the file, and then down at the bottom is page setup. Just kind of like in slides or let's see, doc, anything like that. So you can specify again what you want. So you're going to see where it says standard widescreen fonts. Down at the way bottom, there's more fonts. And then what you can do, it has a list. I've never gone all the way to the bottom, but you can add as many as you want at a time. And so then you have these fonts in docs, presentation, spreadsheets. Yeah, they carry over to all of them. And they have the best names. I always think it would be fun to name fonts or like button right up there. And you can insert images. You can do multiple ones. This is a search right here. You can specify the type that you want. Sometimes I haven't had the best success doing it this way, but you can also, if you just Google something, find the image and drag and drop it. That's like really my favorite thing about this. And so to make sure you have them, if you go to View, then Snap to, you can have grids or guides. I prefer to use the guides, and we'll show you those when we actually start to play. Okay, cropping. So you can do a little bit of photo editing in this. Nothing like Photoshop, but okay, so this is called masking, when you take an image and you make the image and go into a shape. So a lot of times you'll see like people use a heart, you know, taking a picture with their significant other. That's just an example of what you can do with that. So you see the crop tool, right? And then to the right of that, there's a little down arrow to the right pointing down. You just got to have your image selected, and then you'll see the crop tool. Some just different things you can do to create interest. So borders and lines. Those obviously we know what lines are, and then the borders can be what you have around an object or a text box. And you can change the color. So like this would be your fill, this would be the stroke, which would be the border or outline. You can change the line weight, so how thick it is, and then the line style. So like the example right here, this circle has no fill. I changed the line style and then the line weight. So then this circle has a fill but no outline. So I mean you can see the different things that you do can create interest. So shapes and grouping. So did you guys
do that? It just says bigger or?
So you have it grouped?
Yeah.
So you have this little guy right there, and you should be able to click and then spin it.
Oh, because whenever I would click on it, it would.
See, it's not going to give you what it looks like, the little double-sided arrow that you're used to getting.
Okay.
It gives you the hash mark. It's like a graph that was actually made in Sheets and then brought into Drawing. But these are actually ones that were made in Drawing just by using shapes. And then obviously in Math you do the order in which you put items. So maybe you wanting your kids to visually understand, you know, I don't know, proportions, fractions, something of that nature that you can actually make our own. So this is one that we did in one of my computer classes. We were doing something to do with pets just to illustrate that you could make something like this in Drawing. And so if you need ideas, there are templates out there that you can get that so you don't have to create your own stuff. So there's Venn diagram. I mean, there's the Fishbone diagram. I mean, in some of these things I was like, oh, they're so elementary. I don't know what I'd use them for. But you'd be surprised by looking at some of the different templates that you think of something, oh, I could, change this. So say we want to use this template. You click on it, and it just opens it up. So whiteboard. So I had my vocab on the side, the terms, and I actually do this in groups through Classroom, and they do it as like a little race who can match up key terms the quickest as a group. Just like a fun closing activity, like as an exit slip or something like that. And then to view it in full screen to where you don't see the menus, you see just the drawing. If you go to view, and it's down all the way at the bottom, click full screen, font size, change the color, different font. So I made requirements like that for them that they had to do. One of the newer assignments I have my kids doing in drawing is with NCAA tournament. They're having to recreate the bracket, like draw it by themselves. And it's a lot of manipulating, and it gets them really comfortable and able to use the program in changing, ordering, changing, text boxes, and it's a lot of work. They don't even have to know anything about basketball. It's just, Here's another example, and this was a template online. And you could use this for anything, if you think about it. This is the Fishbone Diagram. Other awesome, useful links. They show various. Now this is kind of just talks about like general Google stuff, but add-ons, are you guys familiar with add-ons? For some of them are really relevant, like I use the EasyBib one, or Sheets I've used, and some for docs. So you can use that and say, like, then you have a newsletter that you made in docs and you want an image from drawing. If you have any questions.
Okay, yeah, that's, maybe I'll email